Etepu, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, Haru Nefra. This is Qesankh Keperu with another exciting video for you. And in this video, we're going to talk about prayer versus meditation. Which one is more effective? But before I do that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. And if this is your first time to my channel, hit the subscribe bell to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. If you'd like to know more about my spiritual teachings, you can become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1, $5, or $20 per month. It's up to you. You can cancel at any time. There are never any obligations. And as a supporter, you'll get exclusive access to instructional videos on the spiritual, videos that will teach you how to properly meditate, how to do correct breathing exercises for good health, how to contact your ancestors, how to do lucid dreaming. We also have very special mantras. So if you're looking to attract love, attract wealth, we have mantras up there that can help you with that. We also have articles, really great articles. One article we have is on the occultist Aleister Crowley, and many others. And my ebooks are on there too. So if you wanted to get my ebooks, they're free. You can download them and start reading them. And last but not least, I want you to share this video with family and friends so we can get the revolution started. So, Grand Rising, Namaste. I want to talk about this whole thing, specifically within the Christian religion, that has such an issue with meditation. Actually, let me step back so I can give you context. Not too long ago, I was on a plane headed for New York, and I was sitting next to a lady. She was a Caucasian lady, and we started a conversation. And I really didn't feel like talking, but, hey, I entertained her. And we got on the subject of religion. I told her I was a minister, a Kemetic minister. She didn't really understand what that Kemetic was. And she asked me, if I prayed a lot. And I said, well, I meditate. She goes, oh, that's prayer. I said, oh, really? And as the conversation continued, every time I said the word meditate, she said prayer. And it got to the point where it was getting annoying already, And I began to realize that she did have something against meditation, which is why she was substituting the words, especially with the nomenclature, Even we got so into the conversation, I don't know why, but I think she asked me to see a picture of my girlfriend or something. And I pulled it out. I pulled out my iPhone to show her. And I remember her snatching it from me. And not only did she look at the picture, but then she started to peruse the other pictures, which I never gave her permission to do. And I'm like, wow, you're very nosy. And she was a total Karen, you know what I mean? But it really hit home how Christians have something against meditation. And this makes perfect sense because when you realize, and I say this, that the Illuminati created these Western religions, and that the way to get to God is you have to destroy your ego, because the ego creates individuality. Individuality is the ego, and the ego is the impediment or keeps you from directly accessing 5D, which is a oneness with Neter, God, Lord of all, Nebecher. And the oligarchy does not want the masses of the population being able to access 5D and become one with all, because if you start to become one with all, then you will really start to live the principles of the Bible. And they don't want that. See, when people who have reached that high spiritual level speak about an intense love, they feel this love from a source that they can feel that's there, that's watching them. And they feel love for humanity. It literally changes people to access this state. And if you know that this state exists and it can be accessed by just about anybody, then you're going to put out propaganda to keep people from utilizing this faculty that's within you. God built this within you. God built this mechanism within you. It comes ready-made for you to connect with God. No outside entity, source, avatar, Messiah is necessary. You can access this state. You can connect with God on your own. Now, one of the things that many Christians don't realize, because they're not taught to use their brains, I mean that. They're taught to turn off logic. Because if you start to really break this down to a science, and it has been studied, I'm not like hipping you to something that's revolutionary. The wonders that Jesus performed in the Bible, even he says you can do the same thing. You see, it's not the belief, or I should say, it's not Jesus, it's not Muhammad, it's not Buddha that has the power. It's you who has the power. If you have faith in Jesus and then you say Jesus performed the miracle, no, it was really you that performed the miracle, because it was the faith that you had that's within you, that faculty within you that you activated that performed the miracle. You just didn't realize it. We know the placebo effect. Scientists have already talked about this. They've done the experiments where people were given a pill and said that this pill can make you feel better. And they take the pill and they feel 100% better, but there was nothing in the pill but sugar. So when you are attributing your healing, or you finding that bundle of money to Jesus or to some other outside force, you're doing yourself a disservice, because you are the one that activated the power that you have been given by God. And Bashar calls it the permission slip. Some people they don't have faith in themselves. So they need an outside physical entity or object to believe in, to help them believe that such a miracle can happen. See, if you break the Bible down, if you break the religion down, and you start looking at how it works upon basically one of the main things is faith, belief, joy. Those are prerequisites to healing. As I said, the experiments have been done. We know that a combination of those things or them by themselves can do wonders in your life if you believe. So all you have to do is believe. So you're being tricked and you're being fooled to think that in order to get healed, in order for somebody to save you for some trouble you're in, it has to be a Messiah that you pray to. You're being deceived. It's within you already. Pray to yourself. Which bridges me into this subject matter. In the Bible, it talks about two men who are going to make an offering to God. Now, their names are not important, so don't get distracted by that. But one put together an altar, and it had a lot of extravagant things that he was going to give to God. And the other man didn't have as much. But his faith was strong. His loving God for God was strong. So God blessed and accepted the offering from the guy who didn't have as much versus the one who did have a lot. So what does that tell us? That tells us that it's not necessarily about what's on the outside, the material, but it's on what's on the inside that activates God's power. That's what I believe that parable was trying to tell us. So when I look at this idea of which works better, prayer or meditation, it's not an either or situation. It's how sincere you are. How strong is your faith? If your faith is strong that what you want is going to manifest, then it doesn't matter if you pray or you meditate and visualize yourself through the so-called law of attraction receiving that thing. But we get caught up in the mechanics of the technique, that we lose sight of what the real power is all about. It's in here. Is my faith strong enough to, if I pray, then I believe praying works? And if it does, then I shall receive the thing I'm looking for. If my faith is strong enough that if I sit down and meditate and visualize myself receiving the thing, if my faith is strong enough, then I will get it. So it doesn't matter which one it is. So maybe the woman on the plane, in some sense, was right. But I'm telling you, you're being duped by the religion. When they're trying to teach you that meditation is wrong, no, it's not. Sitting down to meditate, visualizing yourself receiving the car, receiving the house, receiving the mate of your dreams, can be just as effective as prayer if your heart is in the right place. This is the whole idea of ma'at. If your faith is strong, you don't need to pray to Moses or Jesus or God. You can sit down, meditate, see yourself getting what you want, and it will happen if you have the strong emotion, the joy, the faith. This is alchemy. This is a science. If I gave you the pill and I said, hey man, these are manifestation pills. Take one and whatever you want is going to, you'll manifest. If you believe it's strong enough and you take the pill, what you want is going to manifest. It's that simple. God said, let us make man in our image. You have the same power as God, not in quantity, but in quality. You can perform miracles. What's that movie called? The Last Dragon? And remember, the whole concept of the Last Dragon is that Bruce Leroy was going all over the place looking for the master to take him to the next level of his skill.
When I say, who's the master, you say, show enough.
Of his power. And then finally his teacher said, I can teach you no more. There's nothing more I have to teach you. Because you are the master.
All right, Leroy. Who's the one and only master? I am. I am.
And this is the foolish journey we're on. We're like Bruce Leroy looking for the master. When we look in that puddle of water And the reflection looks back at us because we are the master. We just need to be stopped being duped by the oligarchy into this whole thing of believing that the prerequisite to healing or to getting what you want in life is belief in a savior. There's a lot more I can say on this subject matter that needs to be said, because the Christians have done such a great job of muddying the water, of putting out so much disinformation, and to the point of where it's now very difficult for us to stop believing in a Messiah and believe in ourselves. Can you imagine that? It's next to impossible for us to stop believing in the Messiah and start believing in ourselves. How did that happen? How did that become so backwards? Because we've been brainwashed and conditioned. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this message, please donate to the channel. My Cash App is in the description box. This is Qesankh Ma'akeperu, son of Ma'at and Tahuti. My aunt is the beautiful goddess Heteru. Until my next video, Amen Ra.